T-minus 20 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Raccoons mess with the wrong melon farmers. Thug life. And here we go.
I prayed that he would burn in hell, but in my heart, I knew that hell would not have him.
You are all my children now.
Then I will avenge his death.
Hello, Sydney. Are you The Force will be with you, always.
I wish I had you all alone, just the two of us.
In 1963, in Haddonfield, Illinois, 6-year-old Michael Myers murdered his own sister in cold blood. But it was 15 years later, on Halloween 1978, that the legend of the Myers murders was born. Having escaped protective custody, Laurie strode as the sole survivor.
What's the boogeyman? What's the one where that stupid little kid lives? I totally believe in the boogeyman. I wish I had you all along.
How you doing?
Good, how are you? Hey, Grandma.
I am not your grandma.
Ellie, what the fuck?
What's up, everybody, and welcome back to Movies and Beyond. Once again, I am Michael, and it's Saturday. I don't know if I've ever streamed on a Saturday before. Had a couple people ask me if I was streaming tonight, so I figured I'd jump on for a little kind of impromptu show. Like let's talk horror. Hashtag I'm not your grandma. Let's see who we have in the chat tonight. Jerry Wilson is in the chat saying, let's talk horror, brother. That's what I am talking about, man. Talk to the mics in the chat saying, I am here. What is up, my man? Talk to the mic. He's definitely, I've been talking to him quite a little bit lately. He should be on the show. We're going to work something out. And then we are going to go on his stream as well. I'm going to go with Brandon from I Like Scary. We're working that out right now to get on there and talk Halloween Lives. You guys know that I am producing for Brandon on Halloween Lives, hence the trailer. We have about 15 days left on Indiegogo to try to hit the goal that we're, trying to get to for that movie. So every little bit helps. If you want your name in the credit, it's only like $10 to get your name in the credits. So something you should look forward to, especially if you like Halloween. You know that this movie's in good hands, especially with Brandon at the helm. He is a huge Halloween fan, as am I, for sure. Let's see who else we got in the chat. I do want to mention this. Jerry is saying Thug Life. That is what I'm talking about, man, for sure. That Pineapple Express, I had to add that in there because, yeah, totally digging Red from Pineapple Express. Denisha Lane's in the chat saying, hey, everyone, what is up, Denisha? Glad you come by to hang out with us tonight, for sure, for sure. Chris Davis is in the chat also saying, good afternoon, everyone. What is up, Chris? What is going on? One of my mods in the chat, Katie from Popping the Popcorn, saying, hi, friends. What is up, Katie? How you doing tonight? Wayne Turner is in the chat saying, hi, all. It's 11:05 a.m. Sunday here in Sydney, Australia. Definitely a different time than I'm used to seeing you post up here, Wayne, because I am never on Saturdays. This is new for me. I had a little bit of free time, so I figured, why not jump on and talk some horror? Like, I definitely, don't so much have an agenda tonight, but I figure I'd just hang out with you guys and talk a little bit of horror. Any questions you guys have or things that you want to talk about, man, I'm on it. Just a heads up, I have not seen The Nun 2 yet. So if you do want to talk about that, I can give you my thoughts on what I think it's going to be like. But I am hearing good things, though. I've heard very few people say that it wasn't great. But, we can get into that for sure. We can definitely get into that for sure. I think that I have everyone that is in the chat here. Oh, no, we got Sean Hess. Sean Hess is in the chat saying, hey, what is up, Sean? How's it going? How is it going? I think that I got everybody in here for sure. All right. Talk to the mic is saying, love the Jason X mask. Hey, thanks, man. I'm a huge fan of Jason X. It's definitely one of my guilty pleasures. I'm not saying it's the best in the franchise, but I am, you know what? I am digging Jason X for sure. Uber Jason. Oh, for sure. Let's see what else we got. Talk to the mic is also saying, my friend Maestro from West says, what's up? He's Canadian hip hop legend. That is what I'm talking about, man. For sure. Wayne is saying, I only know the rapper Drake from Canada. There are a lot of people, stars from Canada that, don't really get credit for being Canadian. A lot of times you don't even realize that, this person is Canadian or that person is, Canadian. But yeah, there are a lot of, famous people from Canada for sure. For sure. Wayne Turner is saying Jason X is fire. And you know what, man? We can talk about Jason X, all day. Like, to me, a lot of people will, jump on that movie and say, oh, it's trash. It looks bad. This isn't like Friday the 13th, man. Jason X is not only entertaining and fun, it's something that has a lot of rewatch for me. Like, if anyone was ever like, hey man, let's watch Jason X, I'm down. Like, it's a perfect mix of bad CGI, comedy with a horror element. You know what I mean? It's really one of those movies that when it first came out, I was kind of like, I don't really know about this. Although I did think that Uber Jason was, beast. But it kind of grew on me over the years and was just like, man, like I'm totally starting to dig this. So, all the way up until the point to where I am now, and I actually have two Jason X masks. One you can't see that's behind me. I have the Uber Jason mask, and I also have uh the Jason X mask, before he becomes Uber Jason. So I definitely have both of those, and that one is signed by Kane Hodder. This one right here, and it's man, Kane Hodder's awesome. Kane Hodder is awesome. Jerry Wilson is saying Jason is badass in X. He is, man, and I don't think that a lot of people give the credit to how cool Jason was even before he was Uber Jason. Like there's a scene that always sticks in my head when you talk about Jason X, to where he's strapped up, he's chained up, and that guard, he like mouths off to him. I can't remember the line exactly, and he says something to him, and just the way Kane's eyes look over at him, they're just like, "Oh, I'm gonna kill you, motherfucker!" Like this is about to happen, like seriously. And it was fantastic. Like it was so much fun. That movie's so much fun. It defies logic in every way possible, but yet it does it in the best way possible. If that makes any sense to you guys, for sure. Let's see. Talk to the mic is also saying I got a Kane Hodder signed part 7 mask. Dude, so you have met Kane Hodder, if you have it signed, and that guy, he's super cool, man. I've had the pleasure of meeting him I think 2 times. And he will be at Scarefest in Lexington, which, a lot of us in the chat, a lot of people that usually come by in the chat are talking about going to, along with a lot of other YouTubers that'll be down there. And I definitely want to see him again because I would love to get my Uber Jason mask signed. And also the part 7 I have right here. So it's definitely something that I'm looking forward to. And I would love for him to sign, both of those. Let's see what we've got right here. I worked with Drake on Degrassi back in the day. Dude, that's freaking awesome. Like seriously. Hell yeah, man. Wayne Turner is saying Seth Rogen, Kiefer Sutherland, Michael J. Fox, Andrew Wiggins, etc. Canadian. And that's true, man. I knew Seth Rogen was. I knew that Michael J. Fox was. I did not know that Kiefer Sutherland was Canadian. And that's cool to know, man. And that's why I have you guys in here. Like, seriously. Like, I obviously don't know everything, but it's great to hear, especially Wayne, you love dropping, knowledge like that, man. And definitely appreciate having you in here, doing that for sure. Talk to the mic is saying, I'm looking forward to the Mary Had a Little Lamb horror movie and Winnie the Pooh too. Dude, I do not know about Mary Had a Little Lamb. I will have to look into that one. And I honestly have not seen Winnie the Pooh 1. So it's definitely something that I do want to check out at some time. In some time, soon. But man, that was it was, I hear mixed things about it, of course. You're always going to hear mixed things. Some people are saying it's fun, it's great, and other people are saying, I could go without that. But I will check it out in time for, before the second one comes out for sure. Let's see what we got here. Wayne is saying a Teletubbies horror movie needed. Well, I do know that they're doing a was it Cinderella? I did something on Patreon not too terribly long ago talking about that. I believe that it was Cinderella that they're coming out with now. All the these things are so old, and after X amount of time, that the rights are, free to use. And that's definitely why we're seeing, all of these Winnie the Pooh, Cinderella, and who else? Who knows what else we're gonna get out of this, because it's definitely different, but I don't think that it's different in a bad way. It's kind of interesting, and I know that sounds different for me to say because I haven't even seen Winnie the Pooh, but yeah, man, I'm definitely not opposed to all these things coming out with a horror element. Anything coming out with a horror element, I'm definitely all for sure. All right, let's see what else do we have here. Jerry Wilson is saying the Smurfs and the Haunted Mushrooms would be a sweet movie. I just picture like looking at the Smurfs, being an 80s kid, and I grew up on the Smurfs and stuff. And it wasn't until, maybe late teenager, early 20s that I really went back and looked at, the Smurfs. Like, man, mm, I don't really know, what that was about. But I mean, I even remember Gargamel. I remember his cat Azrael. So you could definitely tell that I grew up watching the Smurfs for sure. But I never really understood. Maybe one of you guys can answer this for me. Is how in the hell were there so many Smurfs and only one of them was a female? You only had Smurfette. Now maybe that's getting out of the range of horror, but still a valid question, right? I mean, I'll let your minds wander with that one. Talk to the mic and saying they also have a Bambi horror movie and Peter Pan also. Dude, I think that was the Peter Pan movie just called Pan? For some reason, I feel like that's I feel like that was something. Like, I don't know. Let me know about that because I think that, looking at Peter Pan and the story that it is, I mean, that could be kind of crazy. Well, so could the Smurfs. I mean, any of these could really go off the rails and be kind of crazy. Talk to the mic is saying I'm working on my own film also here in Montreal. What's it about, dude? I'm definitely, curious about that, man. I know you do a lot of stuff with fan films. I've seen a lot of stuff on your channel where you talked about it and you're giving credit to these, you're reviewing them, man. And dude, that is um, something that I love to see because when I started doing fan films and talking about fan films, granted, I didn't know, the same amount of people that I know now that are, doing stuff like this. But at the same time, fan films weren't getting a lot of love, man. And the fact now that I'm starting to see, like with Dylan's New Nightmare, when that came out, Cecil and Robert and those guys, they have been awesome. Cecil did a great job on that movie. Dave killed it as Freddy. Miko came back as Dylan and totally killed that movie. And it was fantastic. But, when I go on now to I look up to, Dylan's New Nightmare, maybe I want to watch it again. And you see so many people that are reviewing Dylan's New Nightmare now. And it's just like, wow, man, like the amount of reviews that I saw online for that movie coming out, it was fantastic, man. So many people were definitely into that, and it's great, man. Seriously. Let's see where else we were at. Let's see. Talk to the mic was saying what I would love to see just as a joke is an Alf sci-fi horror. Like maybe he doesn't eat cats, he eats people. Like that would be kind of crazy, right? Chris Davis is saying, sorry if you guys have already talked about it, but I haven't been able to join for a while due to my schedule. It's been movie talk worth due to my schedule, but it is the movie talk to me worth checking out. Talk to me. I got it. Okay. Just the way that was worded, I was kind of having a hard time. Dude, in all honesty, and I know I'm going to get bashed for this, I have not seen Talk to Me yet. And that was one of the movies that were on the top of my list to go see, and I still haven't seen it. But Chris, what I can say about that movie is I have a lot of people saying that it was really good. So I definitely worth checking out if it's something that's on the top of your list to check out for sure, 100%. I plan to do it myself here soon. Hopefully, it'll probably be out on streaming by the time I get to it. But it is one that I believe it was made in Australia. I'm pretty sure that Wayne can attest to that. But it was also made, A24 is involved with it, but it was also made by YouTubers as well. So it was definitely something that's on top of my list. I cannot believe I didn't see it. But see, Talk to Me, man. I've not heard one person say that it wasn't good. So Talk to the mic is saying it's called The Woods. It's a Jason fan film with a paranormal ghost twist. Dude, you know that I'm all about Jason stuff. Like seriously. Like I can talk about Jason all freaking day. That is my jam. Friday the 13th is my jam. Period. Like 100%. And I definitely like to know more about that. Maybe I'll have you on the show here real soon because we talked a little bit about that, and maybe we could talk a little bit about it. I know you can't give too much away, obviously, but I definitely like to dive into that, man. Love fan films, love Friday the 13th. I'm all about talking about that for sure. Dark Witch is in the chat saying, "Hey, hi everyone. What the hell, Michael? I am so excited to see you on tonight. Go movies and beyond." Yeah, it was not something that I had planned to do. I didn't plan to go on, but talking to people through messages, Jerry, um, it was like, yeah, man, I got a little bit of time, and I figured I'd jump on and talk horror with people, especially if nobody, if people didn't have anything to do tonight. I had some free time. Why not? Why not get on with some friends and talk some horror for sure? Jerry is saying Pan came out in 2015. Hugh Jackman played Blackbeard. Okay, dude. Like, yeah, man, I have not seen that for sure. I have not seen that for sure. And is it worth checking out, Jerry? Let me know that for sure. Wayne Turner is also saying Saw X is coming. Rumor twist: Amanda lives in present times. Interesting. Interesting. Now, Saw for me, like I loved the first Saw. That was when that came out, I was just like, hell yeah, man. I'm all about it. Like it was different. It was gory, and I thought the story was fantastic. I think they lost me in like Saw 3, to be honest with you. I own all the Saw movies, but I have not watched them in a very long time. So I think before I see Saw X, I think the last one I watched was um the one with Chris Rock that was in it, but I think that wasn't that called like Spiral or something? Like it wasn't called Saw, but it was in that universe. That always confused me just a little bit, but I do plan on going back and watching those movies. Maybe I'll do something, on the channel with those movies when I go back and watch them because I mean, once you get past the first two, I'm kind of rusty with the Saw movies for sure. Wayne Turner is also saying Aussie Hugh Jackman. He is. That one I did know for sure. I did know that one. Wayne Turner is also saying Talk to Me is great Australian horror movie. Legit spooky and scary. And the thing about it was, with Talk to Me is watching the trailer, and the thing that interested me so much in Talk to Me was the fact that it looked different from a lot of things that it wasn't the same old stuff, over and over and over again. So it looked original, and anything horror that's original, it didn't look like, oh, here's this story again, only in a different way. So yeah, definitely really excited to see that one. It is on the top of my list, as well as the Nun 2. Like I know that I spoke about the Nun 2 to where it's like, you know what, I don't think I'm going to see this in theaters because I was let down, but the response I'm getting from a lot of people that I'm talking to is it's really good and it's definitely worth checking out in theaters. So we'll see how that goes. I think I'm going to see that next week, probably Thursday or Friday of next week. So I'll be able to talk a little bit more than that. Talk to the mic is saying I got one big name in my fan film, and thanks for the fact that he's a friend and neighbor. George St. Pierre. Yeah, dude. Do people know George St. Pierre? Dude, George St. Pierre, he's one of the greats, man. He is definitely one of the greats for sure. Hell yeah, man. That is freaking awesome. That is freaking awesome. And you're also saying you would love that. That's coming on here talking about it. Yeah, man, for sure, dude. Like 100%. Like, yeah, man, we'll definitely make that happen. I'll reach out to you on Instagram probably tomorrow, and we'll try to lock down some dates for sure. Because I know that Brandon and I wanted to come over to your channel and talk. Halloween Lives. We're very excited about it, and we had I can disclose this because it's not giving away any of the story, but we had a cast meeting last night. We got together with everyone. We did a few things, and we talked a little bit about the script and where we want to go with it, and a few things that we wanted to do with it. And I really think that if you are a Halloween fan, that you guys are going to be pleasantly surprised with this film for sure. It's definitely a different take on some of the things that we're used to with fan films, but I think that that's a great thing. And it's a little bit you know what, that's all I'm going to really say about it, but I think that you guys are really going to enjoy that. Jerry Wilson is saying Rush. Yes, dude. George St. Pierre. George Rush St. Pierre for sure. Wayne Turner is saying, talk to me exclusive 4K and Blu-ray Australian edition steelbook coming soon. Includes replica arm that looks amazing. Dude, I am a sucker for steelbooks. I have so many steelbooks just because they're steelbooks. Like of movies that some of the movies I don't even like, but they sold me with the packaging. You know, it's just like, I don't really like this movie, but look at that cover. Oh, that cover is so sweet. I must have it. I must have this steelbook. One of the movies that I got on steelbook a few months ago, just because it's on steelbook, like I already own 2 copies of the movie, but the fact that I found the steelbook for it, it was just like, yeah, got to have it on steelbook too. That was Halloween 2. And I don't know if you guys have seen the Halloween 2. Yes, the 1981 Halloween 2 steelbook, but it's kind of almost a animated version of, you know, Michael when he's burning and he's walking down the hallway, and it just looks so sick. Look, man, I love steelbooks, dude. I'll definitely check into that, especially having a replica arm. Oh yeah. Talk to me is saying just finished 4 more reviews before this, so relaxing now. It's 9:30 p.m. here in Montreal. Dude, hell yeah, man. Like I know how that can be. Like I'm somewhat kind of taking a break right now for the simple fact that, you know, I still am doing live shows. But I have had so much going on lately between stuff that I have going on at home and in doing stuff for Halloween Lives. You know, it's just a lot to throw together there for sure. Jerry Wilson is saying, "Hey, talk to the mic. Wasn't George like 20? Dude, George St. Pierre was a beast. The only person I really remember him losing to was that fluke match that he had where he ended up getting freaking knocked out by oh god, I can't even remember his name at this point. And see, that's he came back and, you know, kicked his ass. Um I can't think of his name, but George St. Pierre always won when I was watching MMA back in the day. He had a great fight with BJ Penn back in the day that I was I really liked. And you know, they gave George the fight. I felt like the first one was kind of up in the air. But the second one he definitely handled BJ Penn for sure. Talk to the mic is saying, talk to me was at the film festival in Montreal here. Got to meet the cast and director there. All awesome and can't wait for part 2. I've already seen, you know, some of the advertisements for part 2, and the way that the poster looks, it looks freaking awesome. Like it has the talk to me, but it has the big 2 in the middle. So yeah, man, definitely looking forward to that. Even though I haven't seen the first one, it's imminent. Like literally, that's gonna happen within the, you know, next few days for sure. Talk to me is also saying that the Nun 2 is much better than part 1. And that's definitely good to hear because, you know, we've talked a few times about the first Nun on this channel. And the one thing that, you know, kind of held me back with the first Nun, the things that I wasn't a huge fan of was the tempo of the movie, like the pacing. Like it just felt like like I think it had a solid opening. I do. But everything in between, it just almost felt like the nun was like shackled. Like it was just like, let her go, man. Let her be the nun from like The Conjuring 2. Like, let her be Valak. Like that was really tough for me. It just seemed very slow. And you know, I understand that. Like you want to tell the story and you want to get the story out there, but at the same time, it was just the pacing was really tough for me in that one. So I'm kind of hoping that this one, you know, jumps off a little more. And you know, I'm all for slow burns. I talk about, you know, slow burns all the time and that I like them, but there was just something about this one that, you know, I was just, you know, nodding off through the whole thing. Like it was tough for me. The Nun one was a very tough watch for me. Chris Davis says, I'm excited to see the Nun 2. I thought the first one was great. And a lot of people do, Chris. A lot of people did really like it. And, you know, it comes down to preference for anything that that you like or dislike. You know what I mean? And that's what makes, you know, horror great is you get so many different opinions from, you know, so many different people about what they like and what they dislike. And you have your favorites and then you have the ones that you don't like, man. I love that you love the first Nun, dude. And I hope that you enjoy the Nun 2 just as much as you did the first one, my friend. Talk to the mic saying, I can't wait to see it. It's like my fan film. It's a mix of Jason meets Paranormal Activity. Dude, that sounds very interesting. That sounds very interesting for sure. Wayne Turner saying Spectre Steelbook, the James Bond movie, is great. And that one I have. Dude, like I said, I'm a sucker for them. I was in Best Buy the other day walking around looking at steelbooks, and of course they were mostly out of them, but I did see um a steelbook. What was the steelbook I saw for? The movie The Flash. I I enjoyed The Flash, but it wasn't the greatest the movie. And I picked that movie up like 6 times just because it had a steelbook. Now I didn't buy it, but man, I literally was pacing with it in my hand because just the fact it was a steelbook and I thought the steelbook looked cool. Wayne Turner's also saying, "Talk to me, set and filmed." And oh man, buddy, I cannot pronounce that. Adelaide, South Australia, Australia. Yeah, definitely. That's a tough pronunciation for me, but that's cool, man. Like seriously, like I would love to have some of the opportunities that you guys have to talk to these people and see this stuff, man. That is super cool. Let's see. Talk to the mic is saying it's an old movie, but I have to ask, what was everyone's thoughts on the Velocipaster and zombie beaver, dude? So Velocipaster, right? I don't know about the Velocipaster, but unfortunately, notice I say unfortunately, I do know about zombievers. So that was crazy. And would I watch it again? Yeah, probably. I would definitely probably watch it again. Let's see. Wayne Turner say movies and beyond. You've seen horror mystery movie Triangle, all Aussie cast, all playing Americans, set in Florida but filmed in Queensland, Australia. Trippy movie stars Melissa George. No, dude, I have not seen that. It's called Triangle. I am definitely going to leave a note to myself right now. See, so I have that, and I am, just talk to the mic was he was talking about. Also going to check out Velocipaster. That's freaking crazy. All right, so I have notes to check out those two for sure. Oh my goodness, I'll definitely check that out, Wayne, for sure. Let's see. Talk to Mike saying I'm looking forward to the strike to finish so they can start filming Scream 7. It's being filmed in Montreal. Dude, yeah. Scream 7 is Scream 7's tough for me because it was Scream 6. I wasn't a huge fan of Scream 6. Like I know that a lot of people love Scream 6. That one was a tough watch for me. I'm hoping that 7 turns it around and it's definitely kind of different. You know, I'm definitely hoping that it's better because I do like Scream franchise. I don't go, overboard with it. The original is fantastic. I absolutely love the original Scream. And I'm also a big fan of Scream 2 as well. Scream 4, I really enjoyed Scream 4. Scream 5 had to me, and this is almost blasphemy to a lot of people, but in Scream 5, that was my favorite opening, act out of all the Scream movies. And I know that it was different from all the other ones, and I know that it didn't follow the pattern that all the other ones did, but um I really enjoyed that. I really enjoyed it. Two boys and their scary pops. What is going on? Glad to have you here for sure. He says, with Halloween season around the corner, what's your go-to movie to kick the season off? Man, oh, God, dude. I want to say the original Halloween. Like that is my go-to for the fall is always the original Halloween. But, that's always a movie that I love to actually watch, on Halloween. So it's kind of tough to say that that would be your first one. Man, but I mean, you got the fall season coming, you got that atmosphere, dude. Pick your favorite Halloween movie, and I would definitely recommend going with that. I would definitely recommend going up with that. Talk to the mic saying I heard there is a new Cube movie made, but I still love the original one. Yeah, man, I didn't even know that there was a new one being made. I did not know that. Chris Davis is saying, not really a horror movie, but I love the new Haunted Mansion movie. Great cast, and they stayed pretty close to the ride experience. I have not seen that yet, Chris. I have not seen it, but I'm definitely glad you enjoyed it. I'll check it out for sure. That could be another one to go on my list because I have my list is getting is getting quite extensive at this point because I've been so busy lately, and I'm usually way more on top of movies than I have been recently. But I definitely want to get onto these and really start checking movies out again to where I can watch them regularly for sure. Wayne is saying, sadly, got to go meeting my parents. Uh, thanks, heaps, Michael. Enjoy all. P.S. Triangle is a brutal mystery slasher. So trippy. Yeah, man. Definitely looking forward to checking it out for sure, Wayne. And I'll let you know what I thought about it once I do. I'll definitely get back to you on that one for sure. Let's say talk to Mike saying Scream 5 intro was good because it didn't follow past. And yeah, man. So that I think that was the thing that really got me to enjoy it so much because it's not like it well you said it didn't follow past, but it wasn't predictable for me, and I really love the dialogue between Jenna Ortega's character and Ghostface. Like it was really good to me. I love how she talked about elevated horror and he was just like, that's kind of fancy pants. I'm not really, I don't really care about that stuff. It sounds boring, and to me that was just I really enjoyed that. I really enjoyed that. Wayne gotta go, and everybody's saying bye to Wayne. Wayne, take care, buddy. Talk to the mic is saying, what's your thoughts on the Return of the Living Dead remake in the works? Well, I mean, here's the thing with zombie stuff right now is when The Walking Dead came out, zombies were at an all-time high. Like for me, like, do I want to watch a Return of the Living, Dead remake? Yes, yes, I do. Return of the Living, Dead's making a remake. Do I want to see it? Of course I do. I love zombies, but it just seems like, that trend is kind of, started a downward trend with zombies. So I don't know how well it'll do, money wise. It is a big name though, Return of the Living Dead, that's not something brand new. It does have a fan base. So I don't know. I don't know how well it'll do, but my thoughts on it is, yeah, I definitely want to check it out for sure. 100%. I will 100% check that out. Let's see what else we got here. Oh, let's see. Two Boys and a Scary Pops saying, when a new Friday the 13th film comes out, what look are you hoping for Jason? Oh man, Two Boys. Oh. All right. So Jason for me, I really like the way that the remake looked, the remake Jason, but I would change a few things with that. There were some things that I didn't like about that. If Jason comes back, I kind of want it to be a Jason that has already been around for a while. I don't want to go back to um I don't want to start over with Jason. I want it to be a Jason that's already been out in the woods and stuff. And for me it's kind of crazy, but I've never been a fan of Jason having the hair. So if you look at the remake Jason, he has hair. You look at Friday the 13th 2 Jason, he has hair. You look at Freddy versus Jason, he's got this like long white string of hair. I definitely not a huge fan on that. Not a huge fan of that look. But I want Jason to kind of look not so much zombified to where he's walking around like Return of the Living Dead. But so much that he's still agile, but yet he still has that look. A lot like what Vince did in Never Hike Alone. That was a good type of look of what I want to see Jason look like. But something along those lines. Kind of that maybe mixed with remake Jason just a little bit. I Yeah, man, that's definitely the type of look that I want to see out of Jason. And brutal, man. He's got to be brutal. It's Jason. He's got to be brutal. Talk to the mic saying I'm not a usual fan on remakes because it's a copy unless they add new feature to it. Like the worst remake to me is Nightmare on Elm Street remake. I hate it because of the backstory for dude. I am right there with you. I am not a fan of the new Nightmare on Elm Street, but there are some remakes that I find to be absolutely fantastic. The Texas Chainsaw 2003. Texas Chainsaw 2003. I absolutely love that remake. And my favorite remake of all time is The Ring. Oh God, I love The Ring. The Ring is one of my favorites. Let's see. Thoughts on It Lives Inside Pet Cemetery Bloodline. So, I mean, dude, I'm all about Pet Cemetery. I remember the original. As for what number of Pet Cemetery we're on, I'm really not sure. Will I check it out for sure? Is there something I should see before that? The one I remember the most of Pet Cemetery was the one with Miko Hughes in it when he was like 3. So that was my favorite one. I don't know how many of them there are at this point. But yeah, man, I definitely check it out. Pet Cemetery is a big name, and I absolutely love the original. Oh, let's see. Talk to the mic is saying it would be cool to have a feral Jason for the reboot, like a woods person. Yeah, man, and that's kind of like um what I was kind of getting to with remake Jason. Like I kind of felt like he was almost like that. Like not so much feral, not as feral as probably you're talking about. But I wouldn't mind that, man, as long as Jason keeps that Jason is like the type of killer that it's not like Michael. He's not like Freddy or any of those other guys. Jason is like a truck. Like once Jason gets moving, like he is just an unstoppable machine. And I hope that they keep that aspect of it. But I definitely think that it would be cool to kind of have that feral, look to him and that personality for sure. Val's Views is in the chat. The general is here saying, good evening, you all. What is up, Val? Val always gets a salute from Movies and Beyond. I hope your trip was fantastic and you had a great time with that for sure. Jerry Wilson is saying, I'd like a remake on The Shining. Wow, dude. Like, yeah, like The Shining. That's something I haven't seen in a while for sure. So that's something I definitely want to go back and see for sure. The Shining, dude. The Shining is oh wow, dude. How long has it been since I've seen The Shining? Probably like 5 years or so. I'd say it's been probably about 5 years since I've seen The Shining. Oh, with all due respect to The Shining, of course, for sure. Two Boys and a Scary Pops saying it's a prequel to Pet Cemetery. Dude, now that you say that, I remember reading that. 100%. 100%. You are correct about that. I remember reading that a couple days ago, for sure. Talk to the mic is saying, yes, Texas Chainsaw, Friday the 13th, The Ring, and yes, was actually a fan of the Child's Play remake because it was when with modern technology, but classic Child's Play is still my favorite. Brad is a chill guy. Dude, yeah, the original Child's Play will always be my favorite. I know that the series had not the series because I don't want to confuse that with the TV show. But the franchise of Chucky, the movies, they have their fan base when you get into like Bride of Chucky and stuff like that. They have their fan base. But to me, dude, it's Child's Play. Like when I talk about Chucky, it's the original Child's Play. It's that scene in front of the fireplace, where he has the no batteries. He turns his head around and he starts talking shit. It's the scene where Andy lights the match and says, this is the end, friend. Like Child's Play for me is that's everything. Like the first one to me is just, it's absolutely fantastic. Chris Davis saying, I couldn't agree more, Jerry. I'd love to see a new Shining. I thought Dr. Sleep was pretty good too. I have not seen that, but due to Shining remake, that's ooh. Would I watch it? 100%, yeah, for sure. But that's ooh. when you go to remake, these things that are they're big name titles, man, it's always kind of it's ugh. I wouldn't want that job. Let's just say that. Like that, I definitely wouldn't want the job of having to remake that movie. But if somebody could do it, great, man. I'm all for it for sure. Val is saying no remakes or reboots. I want something original, and there's that too. And there is that 100%. Like we aren't getting, and that's one of the reasons why I want to see Talk to Me so much. That seemed very original to me. And yeah, I do agree. We need more originality for sure. Talk to the Mic is saying they made a TV movie of The Shining. I did not see that one. I definitely did not. Oh, Talk to the Mic is saying I'm not looking forward to the prequel to Jason. So you're talking about the Crystal Lake series. I am looking forward to it because we haven't seen Jason since 2009. Does it make me nervous? Yes. Yes, it does. It's like, what is this going to be about? Like, where are we going here? And one of the things I don't know that if I've mentioned when we talked about the Crystal Lake series on the channel, one thing that I don't really know if I've talked about too much is the thing that I'm worried about is depending on how far they go back, are you going to make me feel um, like sorry for Jason? Like, are you going to take that aspect? Am I going to be, are you going to give me a, it's really tough because I don't want them to change the way that I feel about Friday the 13th with a story that has the potential to do that. And I know that that probably doesn't make a lot of sense. Um, but it's tough because being a huge Friday the 13th fan, it's really I've really looked at Friday the 13th one way. And I know this does sound kind of selfish, but are you going to change everything that I currently know now about Friday the 13th because of something that happens in Crystal Lake? So it's definitely I don't know, man. I really don't know. It can really go either way for me. Two boys are scary. Pops saying I want Brad Dourif's auto to complete my OGs. Hell yeah, man. For sure. He was it. I want to say that he was in my town last year. I didn't meet him, but he was here. So I know he does do like convention stuff. So you can definitely do that. Talk to the Mic is saying Child's Play 2 is still the best by far. Dude, I gotta go with the original. I'm more of a a purist when it comes to things. I know that I do love the David Gordon Green Halloween trilogy minus the last one. And that kind of goes against what I normally say, with Halloween movies. But for the most part, yeah, I do. One for me was my favorite, and it'll always be. But it's great that you love two. A lot of people do. A lot of people do. He's also saying, I feel Hollywood has no ideas for horror, so they keep going back to the old franchises to make money. And yeah, man. Like, so here's what I think about that. And you look at like slasher icons, and you look at, people like Chucky, you look at Michael, you look at Freddy, you look at Jason, and it's like they made it big in the time that they were. So they have that fan base already. So they're I think Hollywood knows, like, hey, if we make a new killer and his name is Bob, right? And Bob's a killer, I don't feel like they feel like he would pick up the same traction in today's age that bringing back one of the old killers is. So I kind of see the method to their madness because we all have our favorites. But at the same time, we talked about originality and stuff, and you do want to constantly, come up with new stuff. But I mean, you could look at like Art the Clown. I mean, Art the Clown is probably the closest thing that we've had to a slasher in a while. Something new anyway. Not that he's brand new at this point, but he is newer. Oh, let's see. Let's see where we're at here. Do, 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 do. Jerry is saying Brad Dourif will be at the For the Love of Horror England November 11th. Wow, that's super cool. That's definitely cool. Val is saying, I have to say, I'm also looking forward to the new Exorcist movie. I like what I saw in the trailer. So I've definitely seen both of those trailers. And I am more on the skeptical side of The Exorcist. Now, I know that there are a lot of people that are just like, oh my God, I cannot wait to see this movie. For me, I like the original Exorcist, but it's like we have been so force fed possession movies at this point. I feel like if it has the title of The Exorcist, it better be something special. Because you really have to think, like, I feel like The Exorcist was the OG, of these movies. And please, for the love of God, don't make it just like everything else that I've seen recently. I hope that it has an element that makes it stick out to say, hey, yeah, all these other possession movies that you're watching, they don't have nothing on us because we're The Exorcist, and here it is. It may I hope that I'm wrong, and I hope that it is very good, but I noticed a lot of people are getting excited because they hear the Exorcist movie and you see possessed little girls, and it's just like, oh my God, like it's the Exorcist because there's the music. And it's just like, I just hope that it's good. I think that I was kind of a little nervous. I'm always a little nervous when you're, making a continuation or a requel, whatever you want to call it, of these movies. Like, you should have seen me when Halloween 2018 was coming out. I was a mess, Val. I was an absolute mess. Like, oh my God, what are they about to do? Like, oh God, they're bringing Jamie Lee Curtis back. That's awesome, but what are they about to do? And I was pleasantly surprised, for sure. Talk to the mic saying, what is everyone's worst horror movie? Ooh, let me think about that one for a few minutes. I have problems with worst and I have problems with best. Like, because there's a lot of things I like and there's a lot of things I don't like. And it's just like, wow, which one would I make, the absolute worst that I do not want to watch? I could tell you the one that aggravates me the most, but it doesn't mean it's the worst horror movie. Let me think about that one, Mike, and I'll come back to that. Two boys and a scary pops saying, what would be in favor of an anthology series for Jason Voorhees, like 45-minute stories with different characters on different parts of Crystal Lake camping, etc.? Would you be in favor? Yeah, man. Like, I'd be all about that. Like, for sure. I think that, and not only Jason, I think that at this point, to where Halloween is, I think you could also do that with Halloween as well. I think that it could be something that was on, a streaming service that was like you went season by season. I think that it could be, something like that. But yeah, man, like anything with Jason, as long as they do it well, like if you're gonna don the hockey mask, just like if you're gonna don Michael's mask, you're gonna, don any of the horror masks that are, very dear to our hearts, just do it right. I don't care what you do with it, but do it right. Please, for the love of God, do it right. Talk to the mic is saying, you said it before me, Art the Clown. Yeah, man. Like there is definitely a lot of potential in that character. There's definitely a lot of potential in that character. And Art is he's a slasher, but he's so much different than, what we are accustomed to as a slasher. And I love the fact that not only is he silent, but he's super animated. Like Art can say a million things without speaking a word, just through his expression and the animation of that character. Like I think it's freaking awesome. Talk to the mic is also saying the Exorcist movies. I'm 50-50. I feel like they're using the vibe of the OG, and from what I see, it's the same boat where they're going. I hope that there's a twist. Yeah, like it's it is. I hope it's good, and like talking about it before, I definitely hope it's good. I will be cheering for it to be good. But anytime you hit up those, originals, especially those classics, the ones that are looked at, and put, such high praise on, it's like, all right, man, just make sure you do right with it. Like that's Two Boys Are Scary. That's why I started laughing in the middle. Read your comment, Mike. Human Centipede. Yeah, there are fans, and then there are people that really aren't. Ooh. Talk to Michael's also saying I could see a found footage movie with Jason Michael. Yeah, dude. Like that's. I think that would be a great way to go, especially for Friday the 13th, because it's out there. Like it the footage could be found because it's out in the woods. You know what I mean? I think that would be a cool way to look at a Jason movie. I know some people aren't huge fans of found footage movies, and other people's don't care, and other people love them. It's I think that a Jason found footage movie could be pretty cool. I really do. Val is saying, has we got any more news about if Crystal Lake series is still coming out? It is definitely still coming out, Val. I think that the delay with all of this right now and us hearing everything has to do with the writer's strike and the SAG after stuff. So I think that everything's at a standstill with everything being currently made. So that's why we're not getting a whole lot of movie news and stuff like that currently, because everything's on standstill. And I don't know how far they are with Camp Crystal Lake, if they filmed or if they haven't filmed. I want to say that they'd filmed uh maybe not all of it, but some of I honestly I don't know for sure. But I do know that it's still coming out. I haven't read otherwise. At least at this point, I haven't read otherwise that it wasn't coming out. The last I remember hearing about it was Adrian King being involved with the writers and everything. But I mean, we're in September. We're in the middle of September. This strike has been going on for quite a while now. I mean, it doesn't really seem like either side is really giving in. So it does make me nervous that what are next year's movies going to look like, and what is the years after movies going to look like? Are we going to have anything to freaking watch? I mean, it might be all fan films. Everybody get their cameras ready and make movies. Let's entertain each other. Like seriously. I mean, it's also at that point to where we're gonna get to the point we're not gonna have anything to watch. And not saying it's one side or another's fault, but come on, you guys, somebody give in and get us going here for sure. Talking Mike is saying, I'm hoping it's all resolved soon. I agree, man. Like seriously, I hope it is. But at the same time, I want the people to get what they're worth. You know what I mean? Like I want the actors, if they're not being paid correctly, if the writers aren't being paid correctly, they're the people that make these things happen. Just pay them. There's plenty of money for sure. Talk to Mike's also saying, because I'm on hold until then because I'm part of the union and GSP also. Oh god, that sucks. Oh man, that does suck. Talk to Mike's also saying fan films is what I'm watching until that. Yeah, man, I've got two Friday the 13th fan films that I want to get into on my channel, but I haven't had the time to get them up yet because I didn't know they continue each other, so they're two they're a movie and a sequel for Friday the 13th, and I didn't know if it would burn everybody out to be like, hey, we're watching Friday the 13th this version, and then we're watching the next one. So I definitely have to get up on the channel. I'm definitely a huge fan of these two Friday the 13th fan films. I love the way they portray Jason. So I want to do those soon, and there'll be more to come with that for sure. Two boys and their scaring pops saying aspiring directors step up. That is what I am talking about for sure. Val is saying, are they any closer to resolving the strike? I myself have heard nothing, absolutely nothing about it. So I really don't know any information on that. I would definitely love to know myself, but it just seems like it's kind of just gone silent, for any news pertaining to the strike. And to me, that just tells me that neither side is budging right now for sure. That's my interpretation of what I'm getting out of it. Two boys and a scary pops is saying, if you took weapons away, would Jason from part 3 beat Leatherface? Yeah, hell yeah, dude. Richard Brooker was a beast. Look how big Richard Brooker was, dude. I think Richard Brooker is towering over Gunnar Hansen, dude. Like, seriously. Like, if you were to say, like, Andrew Bernarski from the remake, I might be a little more reserved about it. But, Jay, dude, yeah. I honestly do think that Richard Brooker would take that one for sure. Two boys and a scary pops is saying, Michael, what is your favorite alien film, dude? So the two movies that I'm putting in that I have a tough time with would be the original Alien and Aliens. Like, those are my two favorites, and I will say, um, Aliens was probably a better movie, but I have the first Alien is more sentimental to me, for the simple fact that when I was a kid, I watched it with my father, and he absolutely loved it. My father's no longer with us, so I have that attachment to that movie because it has those memories attached to it. So I will say that the original Alien is my favorite, but I am well aware that Aliens is a superior film. It just is. But there's something about the original Alien to where it was just, man, I remember being a kid and it's scaring me like, oh god, it was super scary to me as a little kid. And that and freaking Phantasm. I watched that one way too young too. Jerry Wilson is saying, I think Jason would beat the brakes off of Leatherface. I do too, man. I do. I do. Val is saying Leatherface 73 beats all Jasons except Uber Jasons, weapons or not. Val, what do you got going on over there? Save some of that for me. Oh my goodness. Talk to the mic and saying size doesn't matter. I'm also a wrestler and I got a win on Sin Justice. Are you talking about Sid Justice? That's crazy. Um, yeah, dude, but Jason is Jason, man. Like, you're talking about a guy that's squeezing heads and popping eyeballs out in part 3. Where what we saw of Leatherface in 73, he could wield that chainsaw around in circles, you know what I mean? But I just think that it freaking I think Jason's got him. I think Brooker's just is too big and too physical. I do. Jerry Wilson is saying E.T. All right, buddy. I liked E.T. Val is saying I haven't seen any of the Alien movies. Val, I definitely recommend watching the first Alien, in Aliens at least. Alien was, it is dated at this point. It is a little bit dated, but especially watching the first one before you've seen the second one, a lot of people say, well, there's more aliens and aliens. And it's like, well, yeah, but that wasn't the point of the first Alien. It was more of it's almost it really does follow the slasher format. The original Alien does, and it's really good. It's definitely good. Val, when you do check that out, if you do check out Alien, I want you to tell me what you thought. I'm definitely curious to hear that. Two boys are scary pops is saying like Close Encounters of the Third Kind. I mean, Alien UFL film. Sorry to hear about. Oh, that's okay, dude. My father's been gone for a couple years. So you are talking about like Close Encounters of the Third Kind. I mean, an Alien UFL film. Oh, so not the actual Alien movies, as in like Aliens, stuff like that. Dude, in all honesty, it would still be Alien. Like, I absolutely love Alien, like for sure. Talk to the mic is saying the original Alien was a classic. Yeah, man. Like ooh, I love the original Aliens, or the original Alien, sorry. Two boys and their scary pops is saying several of the legacy companies privately have expressed both desire and willingness to negotiate an agreement that adequately addresses writers' issues per the WGA. Well, we will see how it goes. We will definitely see how it goes. I'm waiting to hear something like, hey, at least the writers are off strike and we can start writing stuff. But I mean, when you think about stuff like this, and I don't know if it's your guys' bag or not, if it's something that you guys like, but I mean, when you look at something like the show Stranger Things, right? When that came out, those kids were like 7. Now they're like 35 and we're trying to wrap up, the last season. It's like, good God, man, how old are these kids going to be by the time that this show ends? Like, seriously. They're going to have mustaches and kids and drinking problems and all kinds of stuff by the time they wrap up this movie. Val is saying Close Encounters has to be my favorite Alien movie. That's awesome. That is awesome. Two boys is saying, Val, you need to watch Alien and Aliens. I agree 100%. And it just, I just happened to see this down the list. Val, you're saying, sorry, I'm not a sci-fi fan. Val, this, I would honestly say that the first Alien, granted it is in space and, it does have that sci-fi aspect with, a ship and stuff. It is very horror, like for sure. The first Alien, it is. It's not like, laser blasts and, robots and stuff like that. I promise. It's a good movie. It's really good. Talk to the mic is saying, I'd love to see a Magic 8-Ball horror movie. Yeah. Hell yeah. For sure. Let's see. They're amazing. They are coming out with a new Alien movie. Yeah, dude. Isn't like Disney doing it though? Like, isn't Disney doing the Alien movie? Somebody correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that it has something. It's either Disney or Hulu, but I want to say it's Disney. Let's see. The reason for that was an Aliens. Excuse me. The reason for that was Alien. There was one. Part 2, there were more. Hence, Aliens more than one. Yeah, and that's true. It. And the one thing that I think that people forget. They want more. They want bigger. They want better. That's just that's just what things are now. Like they just want that. And I think with Alien, the original. Of course, you don't have a queen. You don't have a bunch of aliens running all over the ship, but it was brand new at the time. You didn't know what the hell was on that ship. You had no idea, and that's what made it so that built the tension of the movie. I don't want to say too much about it, but Val, yeah, check out Alien. Two boys is saying, Val, Alien is not as sci-fi as you may think. I mean, it's in outer space, but definitely horror on the ship. Yeah, he said exactly what I was talking about. 100%. Two boys, you said that perfectly. Talk to the mic is saying Alien Romulus. And he is also saying it is Disney, but it's on Hulu. See, I hit both of those. I just didn't know exactly how that worked, but well done, man. Two boys is saying Disney, yeah, at this point, they are doing everything. Whether you like it or not, they are definitely doing everything for sure. Val is saying Disney is just sucking up the rights to all kinds of movies, and they have like you think about the amount of things that Disney has the rights to. They have, they have Marvel, which was huge when they got Marvel. Star Wars, huge when they got Star Wars, and those are like two huge things that they can make millions of side stories for both of them. So they definitely don't have, shouldn't have any issues making content for sure. Like it's ridiculous the possibilities that they can do with the rights that they own over there at Disney for sure. Talk to the mic is saying, curious to know how what everyone's thoughts are on Halloween 3. Well, Halloween 3, Season of the Witch. It is not my favorite Halloween movie, but it is definitely not my worst Halloween movie. I appreciate Halloween 3 for what it is. I am a big Michael fan. Now, as a kid, I hated Halloween 3. Like Halloween 3 to me was just I went to the movie store and I rented like Halloween 1, Halloween 2, and Halloween 3. And by the time I got to Halloween 3, I'm like, what the hell is this? What is this crap? You know, as I got older, I got to appreciate, Tom Atkins and, Tom Atkins is hilarious in that movie. But I do feel like it does stretch at parts and there are some slow parts in it. But as a whole, man, Halloween 3 is not that bad. I mean, what are there 13 Halloween movies? I'd say it's probably like 7 or so, 7 or 8 on my list. So kind of, just a little bit past the mid tier for me. But I know it has a huge following. There are a lot of people that absolutely love Halloween 3. So I definitely do know. I definitely see why people do too. It's not like I can't understand it. Let's see. Val is saying now I like and appreciate Halloween 3. Yeah, I mean it is what it is. You're either going to be a fan of it or you're not. And the people that do love it, I totally get it. And the people that don't, it's like, yeah, I totally get that too. I do. Talk to the mic is saying would love to see a Mickey Mouse horror movie, dude. That would be like I wouldn't even know where to go with that. Like his voice, like that alone is just like I'd probably start to laugh. I definitely would probably start to laugh. What is it like? Mickey Mouse has a knife? Like, is that what we're doing with that? Like that's freaking hilarious. Two boys and their scary pops is saying Halloween 3 is a good watch. It is, man. It's not bad. Halloween 3 is probably like a once in every 6 to 8 months. I'll sit down and watch Halloween 3. It does not fall into the regular rotation that the other Halloween movies do for me. But yeah. Jerry's saying I like Halloween 3. Yeah, man, I get it. Favorite Saw movie. My favorite Saw movie would be either 1 or 2. Probably leaning a little more to 2 than I would to 1, but I appreciate 1 for what it was as well. Jerry Wilson is saying Saw 2 for me, and I see that, man. I definitely see that for sure. What's crazy is, I plan to come on here for a little bit and talk to you guys, about horror and just, hang out for a little bit. And I didn't realize, how much fun this would actually be just to do something like impromptu and just jump on here and hang out with everybody. So I'm definitely having a blast hanging out and talking to you guys for sure about all this stuff. Like this is fun. Talk to the mic saying, what does everyone think of Wrong Turn reboot they made? Ooh. I'm trying to think if I've seen the Wrong Turn reboot. I remember the original Wrong Turn. I like that one. I didn't like anything that came after it. I don't know. Let me check. If I have seen Wrong Turn the remake. Actually, I'm just sitting here. Why don't I just look that up right now? I don't know if I've seen it. I know Jerry's a big fan of Wrong Turn. Oh, this was in 2021. No, I did not see this. I did not see this one. Is that? No. No, I have not seen the Wrong Turn remake. What do you guys think? Should I watch it? Like, is it worth a watch? For sure. Let me know what you guys think. Val is saying I have to agree with Jerry. Saw 2 was awesome. Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Two boys are scary pops saying, Michael, would you like a movie similar to Waxwork where a group of teens enter a home of wax figures made up as horror icons like Jason, Freddy, and Michael and have separate scenes from the killers? Ooh. That's interesting. Would I like to see a movie like that? Yeah, man. Why not? For sure. Wow, that would be interesting. Like I don't know if it would be You know what? In short, Two Boys, I would definitely say yeah. Yeah, I would check that out. I would definitely watch it for sure. But you're saying no shared scenes. Okay. Interesting. You know something about, Michael that is, I would say, probably close to 50% of what makes Michael um so good is the soundtrack that comes with him. The music, that John Carpenter music that makes um the John Carpenter music that makes Michael Michael to me. So if you're taking that out with Michael, I don't know, man. That's definitely a good question, man. I definitely have to think about that one for sure. Fellas saying, laugh out loud. I was just at a wax museum, Eric in Gatlinburg, and they had Jason, Ghostface, Leatherface, The Shape. It was crazy. Val, I saw you put pictures up on your short. I hit a like on your short earlier today with those pictures in there. That was super cool for sure. That was definitely super cool. Jerry Wilson is saying Wrong Turn 5 is my favorite. I think that my favorite is definitely the first one. I didn't really like too much after that, but I did appreciate the first Wrong Turn for sure. I actually think I own it. I possibly own it, maybe. Talk to the mic is saying, what type of fan film would you like to see? I'd like to know what everybody else thinks about that. What type of fan film would you guys like to see? I have a few ideas, but I also have a few ideas that I'm actually working on in that aspect of things. So I don't want to really give too much away on that. But there is definitely something that I haven't seen out there yet that I really do want to see, and I'm kind of working on that right now. But one thing that I do want to throw up real quick, you guys, because I always do this in all of my streams. Um, Actually, I'll do that. I need to take like a 2-minute break, but I will be right back and we'll get back into this. And then there's something that I do want to throw up on the screen real quick to say thank you to someone for. So give me just a minute and I'll be right back. All right. Sorry about that. All right. I'm back. Let me catch up to where we are in the chat. Let's see. Talk to the mic when we were talking about Wrong Turn is saying the first one was classic. It was. I really enjoyed the first one. Chris Davis is saying one of the more underrated movies, in my opinion, is the House on Haunted Hill remake. One of a handful of movies that the remake was better than the original. And I feel the same way. And I know that this is blasphemy, and I've said it before, on our channel, that I think that I do enjoy the 2003 Texas Chainsaw Massacre more than I do the original. And there was a couple of us that thought that, and I know for some people that's just madness to say that, but I get it, man. There are some remakes that do, not in everyone's opinion, of course, but in some opinions, it's just like, yeah, man, I would totally watch that again before I watch the original. Jerry is saying I say 5 because Doug Bradley was in it. Doug Bradley was in it. Talk to the mic is saying I've got 2 fan films working on. One I've spoken about. One I've spoken about The Woods. That's cool. That's awesome. The second is a Spider-Man one. Dude, that would be crazy. Like to make a Spider-Man fan film. I wonder if you'd have to use, like some animation and stuff. Like I'd really like to see how that's done because I've never really seen that, for like webs and stuff like that. I think that would be super cool. Two Boys is saying, I think it would be awesome to have them all in a film that way. It would be like it. Don't get me wrong. Like I do think that it would definitely be a cool idea. Like I really do. There's just some things that are, that, I'd have a lot of questions, and those questions would make me go to the theater and watch it. It's like, hey, Michael, Jason, Freddie, Leatherface, they're all in it. It's like, yeah, I'm going 100%. I'll be there. Two Boys is also saying House on Haunted Hill was a good remake. It was a good remake for sure. Let's see. Let's see. Let's see. Let's see. Let's see. All right, cool. I think that we are pretty much caught up with the chat. I do want to before I do wrap this up for tonight, and I definitely want to thank everybody for coming and hanging out, and it's kind of like impromptu, and I just thought, hey, I might as well jump on here and just kind of talk some horror with everybody and have a good time. But I do want to say thank you to my Patreon members. You guys are freaking awesome. And we are having some new content coming out tomorrow and Monday for Patreon. But I do want to say thanks to my Patreon members. So at least let me do that real quick. All right. I definitely have to do that. And for everybody else, if you're not a Patreon member and you want to be a Patreon member, come and check it out. I think you'll have a good time. It's www.patreon.com/moviesandbeyond, all one word. And I think that you'll enjoy it. But for everybody else, man, thanks for coming out tonight. Mike, I see your comments on here. Thanks for having me on here. I appreciate it. Mike, dude, anytime. We'll be live tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Eastern. We do pretty much every Sunday, although it'll be a little sporadic for the next few weeks because I have a lot of things going on behind the scenes with some real life stuff. So I know we will be on this Sunday. I'm not sure about the following Sunday, just because of the amount of things I have going on currently. But yeah, man, definitely anytime. We'll talk soon, brother. Hang out for a few. Yeah, man, tear it up, dude. It's Saturday night. Everybody have a great time. Enjoy whatever you guys plan to do with your Saturday night. Two Boys is saying get ready to join Craven stream, so I'm heading out. Always fun talking horror and beyond for sure, man. All the time. And again, you guys want to check out Patreon, you have a good time over there. Again, the link is www.patreon.com/moviesandbeyond, all one word. And I will see you guys very, very soon. Actually, I'll see you guys tomorrow. So Patreon people, you'll get a video tomorrow, and I'll be going live with Mad Matt. And on that note, I will most definitely see you guys next time. Take care, everyone.